Okay, I want to share something with you that I've been using for honestly over 7 years now. And I say this freaking confidently because a huge part of the revenue that I've generated in my business has come from one thing specifically, and that's text messaging. So, not email, not social media, but text. And the platform that I've used this entire time and have fallen in love with is Project Broadcast. What I actually love about it is it lets me talk to my audience, not just post and hope people see it, but like I can send messages, follow up, automate conversations, and still keep it personal. And if you're building any kind of business right now, whether it's a coaching business, courses, network marketing, anything, you absolutely need a way to connect with your people, your audience outside of social media because you don't own Instagram, you don't own Facebook, but you do own your list. And I've been saying this since 2017. So if you're looking for a better way to communicate, follow up, and actually convert more of your audience, definitely go check out Project Broadcast. I've got a link for you where you can get 50% off your first month or 10% off the year. And I will drop the link below. You can go to marinasimone.com/project broadcast. Trust me, this is one of the tools that once you start using it, you'll wonder how you ever built anything without it. And when I tell you that I'm able to send a text message out to thousands of people and have conversations with them, whether it's my network marketing team or leads, it makes this personal connection so much deeper. And that's why the sales have been dramatic for me over these years. So I'm excited for you to check it out.
I was actually looking, I was like, oh my gosh, the last time I interviewed you was when I had one of my Slay Online Sales Summits, which
Oh, yeah,
was,
it was a minute ago.
it was a minute ago. And
Yeah.
because I have a new dining room table and it was at my old dining room table when I did
I
it.
have text messages where literally years ago, I would see you post something and then text you something funny and on the side because I didn't want to post it on your social media.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I've actually been following Marina for a minute.
It's insane. You don't realize how much time goes by.
But what's so cool though, Marina, like I love watching people like just step into their own like authentic self. And dude, you have crushed that. And I've
Yeah.
watching as a lurker certainly for years, but you've really just crushed it and continue to like just do your thing. And I love that about you.
Thank you. Sometimes I get lost and then I always find my way back, which I keep telling like all of our team and our clients and stuff is you've got to just keep it authentic.
Yeah,
I
that's
love it.
that's life.
So you created Project Broadcast and this is a texting platform. For those of you that aren't familiar, I have personally been using Project Broadcast, oh my gosh, 2020, 19 maybe?
Or earlier, yeah, maybe earlier.
Earlier. I think earlier. Yeah, actually was earlier. You're right. Because the first time I ever did a lead slayer challenge is when it was 2018. And that's when I started introducing Project Broadcast to my whole list because I was
Mhm.
like, oh, genius.
Yeah,
I
you're an
can
OG.
actually text people. Yeah, it was like really cool. Like I loved it. Okay, so when you created Project Broadcast, what was the vision of like this? Because it started with just text, right?
Yeah, I'll give you the kind of short story. Myself and my co-founder, which I always tell people they think his name's my business partner Brian, because that's literally how I always refer to him. Brian and I had sold a previous company and we had some downtime. And Brian's wife, actually, who's in direct sales, and my wife is in network marketing. Brian's wife was looking for a way to communicate with her leads and customers, and she had found a texting platform. And Brian and I looked at the platform. I won't say who it was, but he looked at the platform and he calls me and he goes, dude, you have to look at this. So we're looking at this platform and I was like, man, Christy has just been talking to me about this same problem. Like, how can she communicate outside of social directly to leads and prospects and do follow up? So we looked at that product and said, we could do so much better than this for the network marketing direct sales space.
Yeah.
We started development in 2016, late 2016, and we launched October 2017. That's when
Yeah.
we came to market. And the initial vision was really just around texting. Like, how do we bring texting as a tool to network marketing and direct sales for consultants that wasn't super expensive, and it being built by people that really understand the space. Like our last company was actually in network marketing and direct sales that we sold. So we had a really good handle on like the needs of the field and how like people work and how they operate in direct sales versus network marketing, and just got after it, man. Launched it in 2017 and just been growing ever since.
And I've been growing with you, just so we're clear. I was just telling Jake, I literally have 70,000 people that are my leads, my list on Project Broadcast. And a big part of me scaling to seven figures was including SMS text. What I remember, I was doing it before any of these other marketers were doing it. I just remember I'm like, oh my gosh, it was so cool. They could text me a word and then automatically from TikTok, it was massive because that's when TikTok popped off. And I had people just coming in on Project Broadcast texting me. And I just remember thinking, this is insane. Like,
It really does. It takes your like communication like to just a whole different level, right? Because
yeah,
it sounds silly, but like even with 70,000 contacts, you can actually scale your communication to that many people when you have a good tool, right?
yeah.
You doing that from your personal phone is practically impossible, right?
No, it is. Do you remember the BlackBerry?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I figured out, so when I worked in the clubs back in the day, I would have, because I sold bottles of alcohol to the tables. I was the bottle girl. And I figured out a way to hack the BlackBerry so I could group text 100 of my people at the same time. And it took 7 hours. And I would sit there the day before inside the club, swear to God, with the owner. And I showed him I was so cool. No one else knew how to do it, but I knew how to do it for my BlackBerry. But I had to sit there for 7 hours. With the charger. So I would be there all for 7 hours just to get 100 people one text from
And
my
now
BlackBerry.
that would probably take you at least 60 seconds now.
30 seconds, I swear. I'm thinking back and I'm like, oh, I could have made so much more money if Project Broadcast was around back then in the day when I was working in the bar scene. Come on. But I think what's really important too is it's like you really identified for not just network marketers and direct sellers, but for online marketers, period, that are in this influencer phase. They don't own these platforms they're on. I don't own Instagram. I don't own Facebook, but I own my list. And you took it to another level with text because with email, it's, oh, email, text message, like you look when somebody texts you, right? Like your phone pops up when you get a text. Like it's not like an email where you have to go open another app and then look and see who emailed you. I feel like you took it to another level with that and with people owning their lists.
Yeah, I learned a couple of things, right? So like you talk about people reading their text, and there's stats that we always share. And these aren't PB stats, they're just industry stats. And if you compare it to email has an open rate of about 20%. And that doesn't mean that they read it, it just means they opened it. And the read rate's about 15%, right? So you email 100 people, 20 people open it, 15 people read it. If you look at like data on texting, just generically data on texting, 98% of text messages are read and 96% are read within the first 2 minutes of delivery. And my core belief is it's around this idea of friction. So if you think about like texting, especially with the phones now, you can just literally look at your phone and it'll unlock and you can typically read a text message, right? It's short enough. Sometimes it's even enough to read it just in the push notification. You don't even have to open the text, right? So very low
Yeah.
friction to read it. And it's very low friction for replying. Like my joke is I've been using email for 35 years. I've never once replied to an email with a heart emoji. It's just not email etiquette. You get an email, it's got complete sentences, it's longer, more complete thoughts, right? It's
So
more
true.
grammatically correct. And texting is super low friction, right? It's perfectly acceptable for you to read a text and respond with a heart or okay or see you in a bit. So that level of like friction reduction makes it just a really good channel to communicate with people. And it's a high trust form of communication too. Because you don't typically give your phone number out to just randos. So typically when
Mm.
you get a text, you already psychologically have this higher trust that the message you're getting is something you actually want. And I think that's what really aids in the ability for it to just be a better, not better, but a real efficient form of communication.
I will tell you, I wish I had numbers. to actually share with you, but I can tell whenever I do a launch, when I've completely used my list for Project Broadcast, like when I've actually sent my texts and when I've only used email. And I will tell you that I could go without email and just do text and probably get the same numbers. But when I don't use text and I only use email, I see a complete drop in engagement. I see a drop in people that are showing up in the group, a drop in sales, a drop in upgrades. Like I see a massive difference if I'm not using text. And I like for any marketer listening to this, you need to be using text. You have to use it. Obviously using it the right way too, which I love you said about the high trust piece. So what are some of the things that you're seeing people that are using marketing with text, they're doing completely wrong?
Oh, how much time do we have?
We have as much time as you want because this I want to know personally, like where am I screwing up and where I need to be better?
I can tell you, so we're actually launching soon a new area on our website called PB Data Labs because we have sent well over, I don't know the exact number, so this number is probably 2 years old. We've sent well over 1 billion text messages. So when you've sent that many messages, there's a lot of data for you to look at to see insights, response rates, what works, what doesn't work.
Yeah.
One of the simplest things that we've seen, and we've done a massive amount of data analysis to show this. We'll be sharing some of this in the coming weeks, actually. Your length of message is pretty important. The longer the message, the lower the response rate. And that is a fact. We looked at just in 2025 alone, we looked at hundreds of millions of text messages. And the length of the outgoing message is directly correlated to the response rate that you get. And again, it's about friction. If I get a text message that causes me to scroll my screen to read it, I'm not reading that.
Yeah, no, it's a text.
Yeah, you've turned it into a blog post, and that's
if I think of a long text, I think about when I'm texting my teenager and I'm yelling at her and I'm giving her a long text message. So psychologically, maybe that can go to their head too. Maybe they feel like they're getting like a dissertation instead of a text.
Yeah, it's really, I think texting, the thing that people in marketing in general is when you market on a channel, whether it's text, email, social media, you really have to craft the message that suits the channel you're marketing on. I think that's very important, right? The way you would market and send a message in Facebook or as a post or in a group looks very different than the way that you should write an email, and that looks very different than the way you should write a text message. So what we find is that personalization is very important, making sure to actually use the person's name or some type of personalized information where they have the perception that you wrote that just for them. That's super important. Length of message is also super important. And one of the things that we're actually analyzing now is to help people understand that, believe it or not, there are differences in response rate based on time of day, like on when you send the message.
Yeah.
I don't have the output of that analysis yet, but I've seen some preliminary stuff, and it's pretty interesting in terms of, hey, let's pretend you want to send a text message to a big audience and you want to get the highest response possible within 2 hours. When should you send that message?
Yeah, when should you?
Yeah, it's a great question. So it's one of the questions we're trying to answer with PB Data Labs, just like we're trying to answer, how long should my message be if I want to get engagement?
Yeah.
I think that's the key, is like, texting is such a personal channel. What you send should be personal. And it doesn't mean you have to do it one by one. It's just that when you craft a message, the little trick that I tell everyone, when you craft a message, I want you to read it as if someone sent it to you. Does it feel like it was written just for you? If it doesn't feel like it's written just for you, the person who gets it is not going to feel that way either.
Yeah.
Read the message, make sure it really feels personal. It really feels like it was written for the recipient, because they don't know you're using Project Broadcast, right?
Oh, they don't.
So you don't want them to get a message and feel like it's just some, I'll use air quotes, blast that went out to an entire audience. That's important. The other thing that I think is the most important thing that I think people do incorrectly, if you had a person in your team on social media, for example, and all they did was post about the business and the product, you would probably say, girl, stop that. People want to peek at your life. They want to be part of your journey, in your product or service that you offer as part of that journey, but it's not the only thing.
Yeah.
And what I find people do who don't have as much success is they only send messages about their product or service. It's a sale, promo, incentive, whatever.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, you're training the recipient.
Yeah.
You really are training them, right? So,
Yeah.
Marina, let's pretend I'm your customer. If every message that you sent me was just about a sale, promo, incentive, you have trained me over time that when I get a message from Marina, it's only for a sale, promo, or incentive. So eventually, psychologically, I say, if I don't have a buying motive, I don't need to read Marina's messages.
That.
So
Yeah.
you have to drive value to people as much as possible. And
That's so good though. Like what you just said right there is like fire. Like literally, okay, if I don't feel like buying, I'm not going to open her message.
yeah, because if you've only sent what I call commercial messages to people,
Yeah.
you're training them that they should only look at your messaging if they're looking to purchase something. Let's pretend I'm in I'm in a food industry. I'll just make that up. If I'm driving value to you with recipes, healthy eating habits, a fun picture of a dish that I made, and then on occasion I send a message related to purchasing something, I'm going to get them to read my message because I drive value to them in a bunch of different areas of the space I'm in. And then on occasion, I may ask them to purchase something. And I always tell people I'm not a marketing genius, but I do know you want them to read your message.
So here's a little hack of what I do. So for my network marketing team, I will literally send, and this is what I do, and you could use to do this with ChatGPT or whatever, but I always say, make this so freaking human. Make this message I'm sending so human. And I want them to feel like this is literally me, Marina Simone, talking to them. And so for my network marketing team, sometimes, you can't comment on everybody's posts. You don't know all the people. So I have everyone that's brand new opt into Project Broadcast that comes onto our network marketing team. So this way, randomly, I can be like, hey, how are you doing with your closing? Can I help you today? I'll spend 4 hours just replying back and forth to our team inside of Project Broadcast. And it's one-on-one coaching that they get directly from me, where as I don't want to open my Facebook DMs. That gives me anxiety. Like the amount of DMs that I get, like I don't want to open that to have to coach my team. So then it's this whole personal feeling that they feel too, because I'm texting with them. Like I'm actually texting with them. And that, for those any leaders that are listening to this, it has been such a game changer for me getting to know more of our team members too, like getting to know them on a personal level.
Yeah, I think it points back to this desire that we have as people. Like we really desire connection. We
Yeah.
really, and I think texting it is still, and maybe it changes, I don't know, but like today, in the world we live in today, texting is still seen as a very personal form of communication. That if I'm texting with you, I feel like I have a relationship with you, right? So it's just higher trust, lower friction. I'm going to get higher engagement. You can do it wrong. You can
No, for sure.
you can train people that you're just a coupon deliverer, and no one wants a relationship with that.
No, I love the whole voice message piece though. Can we
Oh
talk
yeah.
about the voice message piece?
So we have this feature called voicemail drops, and it allows you to record a voice message, and then you can send it, and it literally drops it on their phone as if you called them and left them a voicemail. And some people are really sharp with the way they do it, right? They'll have kind of a generic voicemail that doesn't have name or dates or anything so they can reuse it. And sometimes I've seen a really cool technique where people will send a text message and then they'll send a secondary voicemail drop, and the voicemail drop is just a real simple message like, hey, I just want to let you know I shot you a text this morning. I want to make sure you saw it. And it drives them back to the text message. It's a super cool technique.
It's so good. So I did that when I had one of my challenges. And instead of my voice, I made it Jason's, my husband's, because we
Yeah.
call him HBO. And so he's, hey, this is HBO. I'm leaving you a message to let you know that Marina just sent you a text. And like we did it. And dude, the response rate was insane. It was insane. So that worked.
Because they think he called and left them a voicemail.
They think he called and left them a voicemail. They'll be like, hey, I missed your call. Oh my gosh, you left me a voicemail. That was one of the biggest challenges I think I ever had too, because they felt so connected. They showed up more. Like it was insane.
I'll tell you another cool trick that I talked to a leader. This was this was some time ago. Maybe it could have been 5 years ago. She had this really cool technique for connecting with prospects that I had just never thought of. which is also really cool to see people like use Project Broadcast in ways we didn't even think about. So if she has a prospect, and again, it's about connection. Like I really believe in this idea that really good business is high relational.
Yes.
It's not transactional.
Going deep. Yes. Deep.
Yeah, it's going deep.
Not surface level, deep. Yeah.
She would be on social media. And if she saw, for example, that her prospect was going to a baseball game with her son that Saturday, for example, and she just saw that on Facebook, she would go into Project Broadcast and schedule a chat message for the following day to that prospect that just said, "Hey, how'd the baseball game go? Did you guys do well?" And it would schedule it so that when Sunday rolled around, that
Jake.
it's such here's what I was like, it blew my mind because I was like, imagine the prospect got a message from her that was very personal, very specific.
So good.
So the prospect is, wow, this person is really engaged with my journey. I'm going to work with them. And she had scheduled it on whatever, call it Tuesday, right? Whenever the lady said on Facebook that she was going to go to her son's baseball game that Saturday. I just thought it was like such a cool way. Yeah, it's super cool way to connect and show like high intentional behavior. That's a great technique.
When you make someone feel seen, right? And when I think about any text message or conversation I have, the second I feel seen, I don't feel guarded. I feel safe and I feel like, hey, like this is more than just a transaction, right? So that when you think about that, that lady must have felt so seen. Like she got
Right?
a text message, not a Facebook message. She got a text message that asked her how her kid's game was. Like that is
Genius. It was such time.
yes.
Because here's the thing, right? Could she have waited till Sunday? Let's pretend she didn't have Project Broadcast. Could she have waited till Sunday and sent her a text from her personal phone? Yes. But one, she would have had to remember to do that. Who knows what her life looks like on Sunday?
No.
Whereas she saw it on Facebook. She's, I'm going to schedule a message to go out the day following the game. The person is super seen, like you said. And to your point, it really lowers the guard with the prospect that you're really there to like engage with them, not just do some transactional thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's massive. I love that. That's so good. Now, I have my sales team that actually uses my Project Broadcast and they call through Project Broadcast. So I tell everybody, save the number. This is Marina Simone's number. So I think I spend more time on Project Broadcast than I do on my real text messages just because I have so many people on there and I love it. Like you can work it from your phone or whatever, but like being able to call from that number as well. Like what's the power that you've seen? So for instance, like it's treated like a real phone number, right? It's not like
it is a real phone number that is yours. We keep adding to that. So back in the day, when you first started using PB, for example, all we did was call forwarding. So if someone called your phone number, we would do what's called a blind forward, meaning we would just forward the call. You didn't know if it was coming for PB or not. About a year ago, we launched a whole new feature set called Enhanced Voice, where if you're on the business planner hire, you got a full voicemail system. When people call you, you can screen the call. So you really can use that number now and tell people, this is my business phone number. Text me, call me. Like that's evolved. We did the enhanced voice, so you get voicemail. Obviously, you can do the outbound. You can make a call from your PB number, like you just mentioned. But previously, people would be like, I'm doing calls on my personal and I've got text through PB. You don't have that anymore. You really do treat it like it is your business phone number.
Yeah, that's how I treat it. I put it on the P.O. box. I put it everywhere.
We even added a feature maybe a year ago, I think, called your contact card. You know how like when you build a message, you can insert like their first name or attach a landing page or a trackable link.
Yeah.
So we added a thing now called your contact card that you can fill out and you can literally attach that to your message. And you know how if you and I are together and you want me to share a contact with someone, I can just send you the contact and all you do is touch it and it adds to your phone. You can do PB now. So I always tell people like one of your first messages to someone should be an intro message about you, of course, and then attach your contact card and tell them like, save this in your phone. This is my contact.
Save it in your phone. That right there. I think that would change so many marketers' lives. And that's what I do. Save my number. This is Marina Simone. Save my number in your phone. And they know it's me. They know it's me when I'm texting them. So that's massive.
And the truth is, it's because it is you.
Yeah.
All PV is doing really is helping you scale.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's still you behind the scenes sending the messages, responding to people. We just allow you to manage a much larger number of relationships because you have good systems and tools to do that, but it's still you.
So tell me the secrets. What's coming?
Oh, we have some really cool stuff coming. So one of the things that we're going to be launching probably within the next month, I think, we have this new concept called Smart Lists. And we launched the initial version of it maybe a month ago. And right now it's just a list, right? You call it and you add people to it and that's it. But we've been building this whole what we call Smart List Query Builder. And this is going to allow you to set up filters. We give you 50 custom fields.
Yeah.
And let's say you've got someone's whatever rank or volume or favorite color, whatever, in these custom fields. You're going to now be able to set these filters on a smart list, and that smart list is always live and dynamic. So if you've got people filling out configurable forms, or you're updating contact info, or you're importing contacts from some external source, as soon as all that stuff gets added, the smart list gets updated, and you don't have to manage now. Let's say you wanted a list called Texas customers, just for argument's sake. You could create a Texas customer smart list, have a filter that says, hey, if they're in the US and their state on the address is Texas, I want them in the smart list. That smart list will be correct, live, dynamic all the time. You don't ever have to add anyone to it.
So like how meta audiences update
100%.
Oh, that's so cool.
And what's really cool is you can add a smart list to a broadcast message. So let's say, hey, I want to send I'm going to be in Texas doing a talk. I want to make sure all my Texas folks know that I'm going to be there.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about this.
Yeah, I'm going to schedule it like 3 weeks from now. Well, guess what? As your data changes over those 3 weeks,
it automatically updates?
Automatically.
Oh, I'm so excited right now.
And you can do really cool things. Like, I get asked by people all the time, hey, I want to send a message to people who have purchased in the last 6 months. Imagine you have a last order date on your contact as a custom field, and you create a smart list with a filter that says, if the last order date was within the last 6 months, I want them in this list. Guess what? Anytime your data changes, you import, that list is always live.
I'm sitting on $1 billion right now. Like, I am not utilizing this to the max yet.
Yeah, I'm really excited about what smart lists are going to do for people. It's going to be
That's massive. That's massive. That is massive. And okay, so here's my question. Now I'm going to get nerdy. So if you're a beginner, sorry. Okay, so with Zapier, like obviously, like I zap into Project Broadcast, and so I would just zap just the addresses and all that. Just zap it in.
Any data, or even if you want to know, for example, say you want a list of the people that have responded to you in the last 90 days.
Really?
And you want that list to always be dynamic and live. And it doesn't matter if you use the list today or use it 6 months from now. You always want that list to represent all the people that have interacted with you in the last 90 days. That's going to be super simple to set up.
So if they opened it or if they replied, what would be?
If they replied.
Got it.
And then we want to expand.
That's amazing.
So the next phase is going to be things like, I want a list of people that have clicked on this trackable link in the last how long, or viewed this landing page, or engaged with this attachment.
Okay.
You're going to be able to basically create these live lists based on your data that's always accurate, up to the minute.
That's wow. Okay, so I just did a training literally for my Brand Me On Demand members on the power of tagging and tracking and literally segmenting and all of this. And this is beyond exciting.
It's going to be cool to see the kind of smart list people create, right? So we've built the query builder so that, one, you can use Ava, our AI, to help you build the query, because maybe you don't want to use, because there is like a where you can build this manually.
Yeah.
But you'll also be able to just tell Ava, hey, I want a smart list of all contacts that haven't replied to me in the last 6 months. And it'll automatically build the query for you. And then you can modify it if you want to. But the query builder is pretty sophisticated. You're going to be able to do as many kind of filters as you want, and together, or together. So this is one of those features where we are building a framework.
Right.
But what's going to really happen is when this gets released out into the wild, people are going to be creating some crazy smart list, and I can't wait to see what they
I
create.
can't wait either because I just know how smart, like I'm pretty smart, but not like to the level of where these behind the scenes marketers are going to figure out a way to make 8 figures overnight with just this feature. Like I could literally see that.
Oh my gosh, you just made me think of something we have to build though.
You're
Sorry.
welcome.
No, this is good. So you know how we have the a bundles concept, right? Where you can share using campaigns and keywords. We need to
Yeah.
add smart lists to
Yes.
because if someone creates a really cool concept in a smart list,
Yeah.
how do they share that with other Project Broadcast users? Sorry, I don't mean to do product development while we're here on the call, but
No, let's do product development while we're on here because I would love that because then I can just share it with
yes.
someone else, right?
Yeah, I need to get that in before we
That's
launch it.
good. That's really good. That's smart.
And you
Okay.
can even add smart list to campaigns. Same thing.
Yeah.
So, like,
Okay.
yeah, pretend you have maybe a customer onboarding campaign. We'll just use that as an
Yeah.
example. And
Yeah.
let's just say your data has a join date and you have a smart list of, hey, give me all of the people that have joined in the last 30 days as a
Mm.
smart list. You can add that smart list to your like new customer onboarding campaign. And then as you import data and we recognize, hey, you've imported a contact, that contact fits the smart list of they're a new customer within the last 30 days, we'll add them to the campaign for you automatically.
My brain hasn't stopped. Dude, the amount of notes that I have for just what I'm going to be doing based on our conversation, I'm like, oh, game on. And I'm like really excited about it. But the whole friction piece, like you kept saying friction, and then you also said another word about extracting. Like,
Yes.
and extracting people from platforms you don't own. So you own your list. You said when businesses are being sold, one of the things, tell them what you just told me.
I think there's a big gap in I tell people all the time, if you have a network marketing direct sales business or an influencer business, it's still a business, right?
Yeah.
It's a real business. I've sold a few businesses over the years. When you look at any contract for buying or selling a business, there are always provisions in contracts for buying and selling businesses for the customer list. I always tell people that to help them understand that like your customer list, your prospect list, like has legitimate real value, like
Yeah.
real value. And one of the things that, frustrates me that I want to just educate people on is that when you look at social media platforms in particular, I'm really big on having something called aligned incentives. So if you think
Mm.
about Facebook, when I post something on Facebook, my incentive is I want my post seen by all of my people. But that's not Facebook's incentive. Facebook's incentive is to put things in front of you that ultimately helps them serve more ads to you because that's how Facebook drives revenue. So my kind of core belief is that your Facebook's product, you're not their customer. And once you wrap your brain around the idea that Facebook has created, and all social platforms have created a marketplace where we, the users, are what they are selling
Correct.
to companies for advertising, that's a misalignment of incentives. So if that's true, if you believe that to be true, how hard are you working to extract the eyeballs that do see your content on these platforms into your own list? Because once you take out the middleman and you have a direct line of communication to your customer or your prospect, then you don't have to worry about is the algorithm going to put my content in front of the right people.
That part. That's what's kept me in business. I'm going to keep it 100. Facebook has deleted my ads account. Facebook has deleted my whole account. I had 40,000 followers and they deleted it and I had to start over again with my business page. Instagram had to start over a couple times, but I was always able to go to Project Broadcast, into my email and let everybody know this was the new platform I was on or this is where they could find me. Like I never lost communication.
And there's no one between you and that customer
No.
that's deciding if your message should show up on their text app.
And that's the biggest piece.
I think this idea of like we all have influence, right? Some larger than others, but you have influence, right? There are eyeballs seeing your content on platforms, some of which aren't even your friends or followers, right? It's serendipitous viewing that people have. You really should develop a strategy. I'm obviously biased. I think Project Broadcast should be part of that strategy, but you should really develop a strategy that extracts those eyeballs into your own list because then you own that customer contact, not a social platform.
Every challenge I do, the very first thing I teach them before I teach social media is how to build their project broadcast list every
It's
single time. Because
it's
I'm like, you have their phone number. I have people that are literally like in other countries and they're so mad that I don't text them. And I'm like, sorry, whatever. But like I teach every challenge, like the challenge we're in right now, posting for profits. Day one is set up your project broadcast account because you are going to have people opting in through a keyword or through a page we're going to build. It's very simple because they have control over their list, control over their conversations, and conversations is where the depth happens, and that's where the money is.
Oh, dude, I remember. I literally remember when Christy, my wife, first sent her first project broadcast message to her customers. And I remember, I can't remember the exact number of people she sent it to. It's a couple thousand, right? So she schedules a message, and it took her, I don't know, 5 minutes to build a message, add the contacts. And this is back in the day, right? 2017. And she sent the message, and she goes, that was really easy. And I was like, that actually wasn't the work. It's the 400 people that responded that she now needs to get into a conversation with
That.
project broadcast. That's the real work, right?
Yeah.
The real work's like I think you used the term going deep. It's like sending out that big blast message isn't the work. Doing the post on social media isn't the work. The work is engaging with the people that engage with that content. That's the real work.
Yeah. And it makes it a more personal way.
100%.
100%. 100%. When I think about when you grab your phone in the morning, the first thing you look at, most people, is your text because that's the very first thing, that little green thing. That's where most people look. Mine's not normal though. I will just say mine's not normal. Mine's at 500, but I ignore the spams. So I have 500 unread text messages. My mom freaks out every time she sees that, but most people have to have that at 0, right?
I'm just curious. Be
Yeah.
vulnerable. What's your number of unread emails?
Oh my God, you're gonna laugh at me.
No, I'm not. It's
193,159.
so I would argue 193,000 unread emails, 500 unread texts. I have a much better chance of you reading a text message than reading my email.
Perfect. That's it. The end. There's a link for Project Broadcast in the show notes, people. And you need to click it so you can get 50% off your first month or whatever the heck it is. But it's so true though. Like it's beyond like the texts are the first, but I don't want to open my email. I don't want to open that. No.
Because it's friction.
Even Telegram's 812.
So even your text lower than your Telegram?
Yeah.
Crazy. I'm just curious, is your messenger smaller?
No, that's at 9. Yeah, it's smaller. It's at 92. But my VAs go in there and just open the random group texts. So those don't count.
I used to do this thing when I would speak for people. I do this fun exercise, kind of like what you and I are doing right now. I have everyone stand up. And first we do email. And I say, sit down if you have less than 1,000 unread emails. And some people sit down, right? And usually there's one or two people that have 4, 5, 600,000 unread emails. And then we do the exact same thing for text messaging. And this isn't a PB thing, it's just a human thing, right?
Yeah.
It is so rare, and I've done this, I don't know, 20 times. It is so rare for people to be standing up with more than 1,000 unread text messages. And I just show people like, forget PB, forget PB for a second. You,
Yeah.
as a human walking on this earth,
Yeah.
are more likely to read your text message than you are to read your email, which means so is your prospect, so is your customer, so is your team member. So why not communicate where they're already communicating?
That part, because you have complete control over it. Look, at the end of the day, too, here's what I learned is I didn't realize the influence that I built on social media when I would send a text message, how much it meant to somebody that they were receiving a text from me versus just a Facebook message or just a email. Like that level of trust, I really feel like it just 1,000 times it with so many people. And I truly believe through text message that I've built this super fan community because of me spending time once a week, sitting in project broadcast, sending a simple message, asking them about their business, and then actually spend time like texting back and forth with them has been massive for my business.
I believe, again, I'm highly opinionated. I'll say that. Some of which maybe everyone doesn't share. I really believe people hunger for connection. Like I really
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah, they do.
And I believe that because texting is such a personal channel, a low friction channel, I tell you people all the time, I get people that'll message me, no one's answering my text messages. No one's responding to my text messages. And I'll look at their account. They're only sending sales, again, what I call commercial messaging. And I always challenge people, I want you to send a message to your audience. I want to have nothing to do with the business. Just figure out what you want to say that is just a personal thing. It doesn't have to be long, 1 or 2 sentences. Hey, was thinking about you today. Hope you're having a great Friday. Just something super simple, right? I've never done that with someone who doesn't get immediate and high engagement. And it proves my point of they're looking for connection, right? And if you want to build a very strong business, you have to figure out how to scale those kinds of relationships. And we see it all the time. You send that kind of message and you get massive engagement. And it's because people want to have a conversation with you.
But now these smart lists, like I'm just saying though, like it's gonna be
Yeah.
next level. Like I'm gonna be able to be like, hey guys, or hey Jane, I'm gonna be in Texas
Yes.
and I'm gonna have a meetup. Do you want to come?
I'm telling you, smart list. We have other stuff in the pipeline. I'll tell you, smart list is the thing I'm probably right now, at least, the most
I'm
excited about.
So am I. Cannot wait. Like I'm ready. Because you think about it too, like you don't know where everybody on your list is, and now you can know.
And even behaviors. I think,
Yeah.
like knowing, again, some of this is tied to the data, right? So if you have like their last order date, you're probably going to have smart lists around that. If you want
Yep.
to know of the people in your list who's engaging with you, you're going to be able to know that. If you, let's pretend you have, if you're in network marketing direct sales, let's pretend in your data you have your team members' volume number. What if you created a smart list that, and I'm going to make this up for the network marketers and direct sellers that are listening. Let's pretend there's a rank in your business that's at 1,000 volume. I want to create a smart list of all the people that are like between 800 and 999, because you better believe I'm sending them some messaging as we get close to the end of the month.
Listen, I already was thinking that. I'm like, I'm going to be exporting my list. I'm going to be literally bringing it in. Who's at what volume? Who's $2 away? Who didn't run their smart ship? Who didn't? Who got too custom? Like, I'm literally, my brain has been nonstop just of thinking of ways as a leader that I can scale the existing team. Oh,
Yeah, I'm excited.
this is going to be amazing. I'm so grateful. Thank you for spending 51 minutes with me. I know I kept you long.
I could nerd out on this stuff all day, though. And
Same though.
like I've
Same.
told you, I've spent so much time
Yeah.
just even following your journey. Like, I always love chatting with you. We always have a good time. You've been just crushing life the last couple of years. And I feel like I've been following you now I really think you started in PB in 2018.
Yeah, I believe
I,
so.
and
Yeah.
I remember we connected pretty early on. And I'm a lurker on social media. I don't post a lot on my personal, but the people that I have like real relationship with, I engage with and follow their journey. And I've been a big fan and been following you for a long time. So it's always fun to chat.
I always tell everybody, Jake's my bestie, Project Broadcast, the only texting that I have ever used and will ever use. I used something back in the day, but that was like before even the internet was a thing. I can't remember what that was, but I'm just so excited for what you have coming and I cannot wait to use all of it. Selfishly, I'm so ready. But give your wife a big hug for me and tell her I said hello. Like I'm just literally so excited for what you guys have coming. And if you ever want to spend a day with big whiteboards with me and nerd out, like I am totally down.
Oh, I'm game.
Totally game for that because that is all like we call this the war room where I have all my whiteboards and my team knows when we sit down, I need more whiteboards. I actually bought the whiteboard paint back in 2020. Funny story. And I was like, oh, I'll paint the wall whiteboard. I did it wrong and didn't work. And I wrote on with a marker. Yeah, there was like whiteboard paint where your
But
whole,
you have to do it a certain way for it to actually work us.
yeah, I guess I just
And then
should
you
have
use it.
hired someone to do it. It didn't work.
That's awesome.
Didn't work. Didn't work. So we have some writing on the wall. Still haven't fixed it. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much. There's so much value and so many nuggets in this. I'm just so excited for people to start listening.
Awesome. Thanks, Marina. I appreciate it.
I want to give a shout out to one of my sponsors, Ace. Ace Gems is absolutely amazing. I personally use this for my network marketing business for our team, and I've got to tell you that it has changed the game as far as sending information, sending out a website, even for my brand. I know what it feels like to send out a link to somebody. They say they're going to watch a video and they don't. But what's really cool is what if you sent that link to them and then the second they click to watch the video, you got a notification and you knew exactly who it was that watched the video. Well, that's what Ace Gems does. It's also, in my opinion, going to replace a lot of the social media networks where you aren't seeing notifications. I truly believe that Facebook groups are going to be shifted into Ace in their community campfires. And anyway, I'm obsessed. So's our network marketing team. You can check out more about Ace below.